Them weeds shoulder high going to school, get wet before you got there. Oh, it was bad.
How'd you keep your food cold, Daddy?
You didn't.
Well, how did you keep milk?
You had to use it with a few
hours.
Yeah, if you milked the cow today, you had to use it by tomorrow night. Because it would ruin.
There was no refrigeration.
No.
Didn't you keep your potatoes under the house or something?
I'll tell you one thing they did do to keep it from souring. Or they'd put it in a bucket and lower it down.
In the well?
Yeah.
Okay.
How'd you know?
Well, because we've talked about this before.
Yeah, well.
And I couldn't think of any other way. Didn't you keep potatoes under the house, or was it tomatoes? Cool, to keep them cool?
The cat.
That was yeah.
What?
They had what they called a smokehouse that they had built to keep meat in, keep it from running. And they put a trough in there about 3 or 4 foot wide and about 2 foot deep. And they filled that trough about half full of salt.
Mm-hmm.
And they could bury it after that blood kept from, they'd hang that meat up first. And that blood would ooze out of all that meat. Then you put it in that salt and put salt all over that meat.
Now, are you talking about pork or
yeah,
beef?
Beef.
Beef?
Yeah.
Beef was soaked in salt.
Well, I don't know what, I guess they did the hog thing. I remember the hogs hanging up there too.
Yeah.
So I guess they did the hogs the same way.
Yeah.
But, of course, once in a while we'd have a...
Did you ever have to use like seeds for any type of currency?
Cheese?
Seeds. Did you ever use like seeds?
What kind of seeds?
Any type of seeds.
Watermelon seeds?
Watermelon seeds or anything. I mean, what was your currency back then? Did you use money or did you barter?
Barter. I mean, he just told you about the fabric and taking the hens.
We borrowed money every year until we made a crop, and then we'd pay it back. I had the job of raising the watermelons and the cantaloupes all by myself. And I put out an acre or two of that. And it's the watermelon, cantaloupes, and something else.
Peas.
What?
Peas.
Yeah. So that was... Oh well, it was rough back in those days.
Yeah.
But now you remember when you lived on Garrettsville, and they were rationing food then, and wouldn't let Mama have any bacon, and then Maxine went down to Hardee's, and they let her have bacon. But they wouldn't let Mama have any when she went down there. So then after Maxine got her bacon, it made Mama mad. And Mama went down to Hardee's, and she just told them.
She got her bacon.
She got her bacon.
Well, why didn't they let her have any?
I don't know.
They were like, they weren't letting just anybody have.
Well, it was scarce. Bacon was scarce back in those days.
You mean y'all didn't have pigs? I know you had mules, but you didn't have pigs?
We did. But you just killed it. You just killed them once a year.
Well,
that's when it's cold weather. Real cold weather. In other words, you want to, if you kill that hog today and you hang him up to blood to come out, you want it to be cold enough it's going to freeze that night.
Got you.
They want that.
Because you didn't have a refrigerator.
That's right. They wanted that meat to freeze.
Right.
And Grandpa had all kinds of peach trees. Man, did I enjoy them.
And then you used to eat berries.
I knew where all the berry patches were at, and the plum trees.
You and Uncle Clyde.
Yep.
Throw your little fishing poles over your shoulders.
Yeah, we did. I wasn't but about 4 years old, but Clyde was 2 years older than me, and he'd come down and Mutt, let's go fish. I'd get that little fishing pole about 4 foot long. We'd go down and catch us some Bessie bugs and put on there.
Bessie bugs.
What are Bessie bugs?
You turn the log over and there's a white one underneath. It's still young.
Like a grub worm.
Okay, if you don't call it a grub worm, we call it it's a Bessie bug. Cause after they get grown, they get a hard shell on them.
Well, that's a pill bug.
You got it.
And they
It's a doodle bug.
They were Bessie bugs to us.
Okay.
We'd go down and catch fish, perch, little catfish.
And you eat that fish?
Oh, we'd go back to the house and clean them, and Granny would cook a. Mama wouldn't.
Now, let me ask you this.
frog legs too.
Minnie, that was your wife. Did she come from a rich, or, what, tell me about her. What kind of family did she come from?
Her cousin is the one built all this stuff in Oklahoma. What was his name?
Thomas Gilcrease.
Thomas Gilcrease.
Indian artifacts.
Yeah, he would come to see her daddy once in a while. Her daddy was his uncle. And he would come, and the driver would, if he needed, here's what Minnie said, if he needed to use the telephone, they didn't have one, he'd have that guy to climb the pole and hook up his telephone to the wires. Go right, he'd call back to
Very wealthy.
Oklahoma.
And they would hold an umbrella over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. But Mama's family was very, very poor. You think her family was worse off than yours?
About the same. That old man had to make a living for about 5 girls.
There were 10 kids.
Yep. I don't know how in the world he raised that bunch off that little land. He didn't have over 100 acres, I don't think.
So he farmed as well?
Yeah. But this Indian, his mother was Indian. Thomas Gilcrease, his mother was Indian. And they give him all this land, and they give his brothers and sisters the same amount of land. But his land is the one where the oil was struck. And they all just had a fit over that. They didn't get any money, he got it all.
He died a pauper.
What's that?
Yeah, he did. The Oklahoma had to
The state
pay off
had to
his
bury
debts.
him.
Because he spent all his money?
I don't know what happened to the money. What happened to the money, Daddy? Do we
He
know?
gave it away by an Indian, what do you call it?
Artifacts. Indian
And
artifacts.
built a building. That's what he did with his millions.
And which was a bad choice because there wasn't much of a demand for Indian artifacts. Is that what you're saying?
Anybody had anything about Indians, he'd buy it. And
Well, not enough that it would give him income that he needed.
Yeah, he made
Generated.
he made a bad choice then.
Yeah.
It should have been more or less a hobby instead of a business.
It was an addiction. That's what I say.
anyhow, all that's there in that building about what happened.
But Mama's family, directly her immediate family, was very poor.
I think they came from Louisiana. I'm not sure, but I think they come from Louisiana.
What makes you think that?
I don't know.
Okay, so when y'all got married, were y'all doing pretty good? Were y'all
No,
no?
no. Didn't even from day to day.
Didn't Mama have a job?
Mama, she worked at a cafeteria to buy her wedding ring.
And then she
I
used to
didn't-
iron clothes
The day
for
that I got
people?
married, I got everything stolen from me.
What?
Yes.